Hi, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Daily's Dose. I'm Gianna Ortner Finley, the managing editor of the North Texas Daily.
Hi everyone, my name is Aiden Gonzalez and I'm the photo editor for the North Texas Daily.
And we're your hosts who do the most.
Gianna, it feels so good to be back.
Yeah.
I low-key did miss this. Waking up early, going to a local coffee shop, finding hot topics, what's trending in the news, drinking my overpriced latte because
Oh, for sure. Of course.
And then just coming up with ideas, spending a whole hour with the people I love the most, just talking, just being free, talk about topics I love talking about too. So.
Yeah, no, it's super fun being back in the studio. We've been trying to get back in for a while because we promised y'all that if we could, we would. So
Yeah.
we're here.
We're here.
And so I'm super excited to, start doing this again. And hopefully we're going to start getting up some more episodes for y'all so that you can hear more of us in your ears talking about all of the fun pop culture stuff.
There is a lot too.
Yeah, so much happens during summer. So many albums get announced. So many beefs
trailers,
get started.
movie trailers come out.
Like How to Train Your Dragon was released recently, and we've got a review of that in this week's edition of the Daily, actually. So shout out
Pharrell. Okay, but let's jump in because I have a lot to say.
Okay, I'm excited.
So we're going to split this up by genres. We're going to start with rap beef for the first one.
Awesome.
Okay. So there's been some recent controversy within the female rap community.
Okay.
Earlier this week from the female artist Cardi B. She posted on her Instagram announcing her sophomore album called Am I the Drama to be dropping September 19th.
Okay.
Which is a little long away, but I feel like that's going to come sooner than later. I feel like time's going to go by fast.
September isn't that far away, and the other people have announced things that come out in August, but like the end of August.
Yeah.
So it's not super weird to announce something in June for something that's coming out in September.
Well, we'll get into that later.
Oh, okay.
For real. Okay, but because she's dropping her new album, people had a lot to say about this. A lot of good things, but also a lot of bad things.
Oh.
So let's get into a little bit of the backstory. So in this album, it's said to be a 23-song album.
Oh, wow.
Which is a really big album.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays, I've seen albums that are like anywhere from like 10 to 12, 15 max.
Like the average, I think, album release that is not counted as like an EP is like, I think it's like 9 songs. Is like the minimum, maybe.
Yeah.
I need to fact check myself, but I don't have that on hand. So like you basically see a lot of shorter albums. Like I know for me, a lot of the albums I like are around 12, and I'm like I want more from it. And it's like a lot of these artists also take that opportunity that like you're like, oh well, I want more songs from this to release like things that they're like, oh well, this didn't make it in by the time that I needed to put this out. But this song is a part of this. Like my girl Sabrina Carpenter, I absolutely love her.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple of songs that she's released recently that were technically quote supposed to be a part of the her album that she released last year.
Yeah.
Short and Sweet, but they're like released months afterwards.
I feel like artists do that. They post what songs they have now out to the public, and then the songs that they're still working on, they're gonna be like, oh, let me release a deluxe version.
Yes, exactly. They just add more people, and it's just the deluxe version because that's exactly what Sabrina Carpenter did.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still listening.
We're still gonna eat that up.
I'm still listening.
Sure.
I'm eating it up. Exactly.
But so her album's 23 songs, with the last two, number 22 being Up, which came out in 2021.
Whoa.
4 years ago. And then the number 23 spot is WAP, which came out August of 2020, so 5 years ago.
Wow, what a throwback.
COVID. So a lot of people had some things to say about this artist, including old singles into a new album.
Yeah.
So because of these songs that have been released for so long now, it boosted the sales of the album drastically. Now has 1.5 total album units. So it's sold a million units already, and the album still hasn't come out. It's only been released for like pre-save and stuff.
Those are the pre-orders?
Yeah. Like it's only been at least released for pre-orders, but the 1.5 million total reviews and units have been are the total because of WAP and Up. that have been out for a while. So she's using all these old past songs, which are big hits, of course.
Yeah.
She's using them to put into her album to boost sales.
Yeah.
Which from could be argued from both sides, from an artist side. She's like, no, I'm not doing this. I just want my big songs to be in an album,
Yeah.
which people like to call like their home. Which I do see. If you like producing big singles and you do want like a place for these albums to be on,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess put them on this album, but if they're like so old, why bother?
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like there's a difference between having singles that are released gearing up to an album,
Yes.
like being like, oh, well, I have this released right now, and my album's gonna come out in a few months or a few, like next year or something like that.
Yeah.
And but 4 years later, 5 years later,
5 years later, I'm like, oh, I forgot there was an album.
yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, both of those songs are extremely prevalent in the like the rap community because like they're just fun, funky songs. Like, because that's a lot of what her music is like.
Yeah.
It's just her expressing her sensuality and a bunch of other stuff. But like also, like, I feel like those songs are just old at this point.
We're gonna listen to the playlist on shuffle and be like, oh, I forgot these songs right here.
Yeah.
Big throwback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, wow, what a throwback.
Literally.
That's actually crazy.
But yes, her fans wanted new music, and they are upset because they waited 7 years from her first album, Invasion of Privacy, for new music.
Yeah.
So for her old songs to be put on a new album, people think she's quote unquote doing the most, boosting her sales. But by the time the album comes out, it's gonna be eligible for a 2 times platinum certification.
Because of how many units are sold?
Yeah, because of Whopping Up already. So by the time, like, it's gonna be like day one, the album comes out already, it's platinum album because of the 2 songs that's carrying it. Which is, I feel like that's so unfair.
I feel like, yeah, that's entirely
not
fair.
I feel like these artists need to come out with new music. If it's a new album, why post the same songs in the same album?
Yeah, and I mean, technically, the argument could be made that it is their intellectual property. Like, it is their music and whatnot.
Yeah.
But also, again, at the same time, it's like, I've been knowing the song.
We've been new.
Like, I know
yeah.
the song. I know the lyrics. Have music videos been released for them? I'm pretty sure, yeah.
For sure, yep. Both.
Like, music videos have been released for them. Like, the songs have had their time in
the mainstream.
Like, in the mainstream media and, like, the atmosphere of, like, all her stuff. And she didn't produce an album close enough for them to really like should be in there. Like, literally. I feel like they shouldn't be in there because if you're gonna make your fans wait 7 years for a new album, the least you could do is not have music that's 5 years old in it.
Yeah. If she does this, I expect a deluxe version to make up for the last 2 songs.
Yeah, like a 25 deluxe version at least minimum.
Yeah, 2 more new songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it already has 2 billion streams because of the 2 songs, which already outstreamed Nicki Minaj's recent album Pink Friday 2. Which we'll get into that for Aiden's tea time, so stay tuned. And after that, I have my own thoughts and opinions. However, in 2022, Cardi already told her fans that Up and WAP were going to be in her new album. So when she said that in 2022, people speculated, so we're going to get that album within this year, or at least in the next year, 2023. When she said that, she didn't say when her album was going to be produced. She said it's going to be involved. But as the audience, you would think, okay, it's gonna be soon within the next month or year.
Like again, like I said, like like I'll mention this later, but like their artists like released a new song not too long ago.
Yeah.
And that album's being released in August. It's like it's that thing like you would think that it's in addition to add hype to the album.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I'm releasing this single, see you in 3 years. Like, no, you wouldn't have expected that.
No. I mean, I feel like she really got us good with that one, low-key. I can't even be mad. Because I was looking at like an article, and she never really said when her album was going to drop.
Yeah,
she just said these songs
it was going to be on them.
So I guess the fans are the fools here for thinking we're going to get an album soon.
I mean, also, I think it also does kind of fall into the fact that a lot of these artists are producing music at a rate that isn't like attainable for them. So like, basically you have all of these artists that are either taking their time with their music and their releases and then producing something that's like really good, or you have these artists that are essentially being burnt out from creating music so often, but they're creating a lot of music. Like, I might get hate from the Swifties here, but sometimes like you'd see like her producing music really, really quickly, and then those songs suffered as a result of it. But then at the same time, like, her fans would complain if, like, it was too long in between releases. And, I mean, speaking of Taylor Swift, she got the intellectual property back for all of her original albums.
Oh my god, I saw. Did you see that
so
video?
that's awesome.
Literally.
I literally love that. And again, like I'm not that big of a Swiftie.
Yeah,
like
I'm not a big
there are
Swiftie
some
either.
fans. There are some songs I'm like, okay, turn
Bob,
it up.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there are other songs that I'm like, okay. So it's like, and those are honestly like on the albums that were really close together, because there are a lot of instances in which, you know, like there's really, really good lyricism. Like I will say that there are a lot of instances in which I feel like she does a lot of really good work with her lyrics. And so it's just, Cardi honestly might be in this instance just suffering from a lack of inspiration.
But for 7 years?
I know.
There's no way. And I feel like every year she produces like singles, or she'll hop on a feature with another artist. So it's not that she's getting burnt out. I just feel like she's relying on these singles.
I mean, yeah, no, it's completely possible that she is relying on the singles, but
crazy.
I also do think that it is possible to be burnt out and feel burnt out while still producing things.
True.
Especially if you're doing it in a way that essentially lightens the load on you. Because if you're just being featured in a song, not to say that that's not hard, but it's less work than you producing multiple singles of your own or having, say, an entirely new album.
True.
But also, if those songs were released, you said it was 2020 and then 2021, those were released back to back. And so I feel like if you're going to state in 2022, hey, these songs are going to be on my new album, you should pop up with a new album within the next year at the max. Like, so that's just putting a hiatus on something. Literally. Probably because she just didn't want to finish it, but she promised fans that she was going to finish it anyways.
I know she signed a record label, and I feel like they're pressuring her, and she's made that like very vocal too. Like she doesn't want to release all this music because she feel like it's not her, but because these record labels are on her butt, they're like, hey, we need something to come out, produce something. So I feel like that's why she's coming with all these singles, which then I see makes sense.
A lot of record labels also have their artists sign contracts where they're required to produce a certain amount of albums before they can be like free of their contract. And normally at the end of that contract, like these artists are, you know, like super big names and whatnot, and they can kind of like rely on themselves and or create their own record company, so that they're not like saying, oh, well, I have to produce this for said record company. They're like, I can produce this for myself.
Literally.
So yeah, that's another thing that could definitely make the music suffer. So this album already out?
Which one? Her new album?
Yeah.
It's out for
it's pre-sale. Yeah. So in September. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, we could probably expect to see either some of her best work or some of her worst work.
And I feel like I'm on that fence too. If you waited 7 years and you said you've been creating the song since 2022, that's at least 3 years that we know for sure. Maybe like not even including if she's been preparing beforehand. So I expect some fire bars, some good songs for 23. Well, I guess 21. Song album. I better hear some new stuff.
Yeah, because there are definitely artists where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've waited this long for a release. And it's like, for an example, like Selena Gomez, like. Years and years between her last album and what is her last album, or at least I believe that's what we said a while ago. And so like that, but it was worth the wait. The songs were good for the most part. And so it's like you have like a natural like release of this like tension of like, oh my gosh, is it gonna be good? Was it worth the wait for some artists? And then you have other artists that release something and you're like, ugh.
I feel like some artists, those artists who you get like the reaction of, this is mid, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like those artists are just putting songs just to put songs in an album.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before on the podcast where it's like you see the difference between somebody who loves their craft and somebody who's literally just here for a bag.
Yep, you can really tell. But back to the conversation. So Cardi B took to the internet and she was vocal about this. She said, well, some artists are already doing this, but we aren't seeing the same things to them. She said she wanted the songs to have a home, which, okay, I can see them on the fence.
Yeah.
But then she then pointed out some artists who are doing the same thing, who are releasing old songs and a new album. So I did a little quick research, just a quick Google search. And this is what I found. For SZA's new album, she put a 4-year-old song.
Oh.
Okay. I guess I didn't catch that. No one's been talking about it, which is one thing. Travis Scott put a 3-year-old song in his album. Okay. But Selena Gomez put a 6-year-old song on her most recent album.
Really?
Yes. On the album, I Love You First, or I Said,
Yeah.
she put an old song on it.
I didn't even know that.
I forgot what song it was. Let me check. I could quickly pull it up because I was doing it. And I was like, oh, it took me a while because I didn't realize it, but it's an old song from 6 years ago, which already passes the two songs that Cardi B had on her album.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely older for sure.
I Can't Get Enough of You came out in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so she was like, let's run this back 6 years later.
That is really interesting. But also, I think it was only one song.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, maybe it's because fans have gotten stuff from Selena, like in the interim, if that makes sense. And so they feel like it's not as much of a weight. That is a good point.
How only some artists are being
called out for it. Yeah.
Not everybody. I guess I don't know. Maybe people just straight up don't like Cardi B.
I mean,
hey, everyone has their own opinions. You can have your own opinions about them
this is true.
or her.
I like some Cardi songs.
And I hate to say that too. Some of them are catchy. I know. But for the most part, yes. So yeah, I'm with the people on this. I feel like an artist who's putting old songs in an album should not happen. Mm-hmm. Billboards, I'm calling you out. Don't put those sales on the album. Go towards the album.
Yeah, I mean it's hard in the sense of like the Billboard Hot 100 and all of that other stuff, and it's because it is a part of the album.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't say, oh well, only certain songs on the album count because of a certain like the length since its original publication.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are precedents in other forms of media, like movies.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get nominated for that year's round of like whatever, like the Oscars and whatnot, then you can't be nominated for the next year's because like you've already passed that like window and whatnot.
Okay.
Like I don't remember. I think a while ago we were talking about how that one movie missed out on an Oscar. Because it was just, they didn't put it into it was miscalculated. It was originally, it was thought to have been released in the time frame from the year prior's release.
Oh, okay.
And so they were like, oh, well, you can't be in the show. Like, you can't be nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
And, but it wasn't. But the Oscars had already happened. So they were like, well,
make a new movie.
Yeah, so it just didn't get nominated for an Oscar. And so it's like there are rules for that in other forms of media. So I mean there is a there's a complete plausibility that like it could be utilized for music media in the form of the Billboard and whatnot.
I feel like 5 years is a good time frame.
If not even sooner, like 4 or 3.
I just like even numbers or like prime numbers, I guess. 5 numbers.
Yeah, 5 isn't an even number.
Maybe 2, but I feel like that's too short though. I don't know.
Yeah, 2 might be too short. 4 is good.
4 is pretty good.
4 is good.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts on this, Gianna? What are your thoughts? People reusing old music in their albums.
Yeah, so like I said, I feel like there is definitely a line to be drawn in the sense that I feel like if you are having a single released to kind of like ramp up or promote an album, absolutely, you do you, boo.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should have that album released in the next year or so. If not, like at the maximum.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're basically promising and teasing fans for an album that's not going to exist.
For 3 years. And then you wonder why your fan base hates you.
Yeah. What? So it's like other artists, like Sabrina Carpenter, she just announced her newest album, Man's Best Friend. And so like she that was on June 11th. Like she released the song Man-Child, which I have thoughts on.
We do have thoughts.
And I wasn't a big fan of it at first. I didn't really love the lyricism in it because sometimes she's just funny and quirky.
Yeah.
And that's just Sabrina's thing. Like, I love her humor and whatnot in her songs. And so at first I was like, I don't really like this. It's not her best work. And then I've been listening to it over and like as I've
forced yourself to like it.
No, I didn't force myself to like it. I've just listened to it and I'm like, you know what? I actually do like this song. And it's just, it's kind of funny. And I feel like she's really leaning into those, like, not country elements, but, like, kind of, like, folky. elements.
I do see that.
Like pop folk, kind of reminiscent of like Fleetwood Mac. Ooh. And I kind of really like that. And so, but for her, she released Manchild, and then literally like a few weeks later was like, hey girlies, I'm releasing this album. Here you go, August 29th. Ooh. And so it's like, and she just put out an album last year. And so it's like, there's just a different, I feel like, work ethic for some artists.
Or pressure.
Or pressure, yeah, that's completely true. And so it's like, I don't feel like she's personally pressured into creating new music and whatnot, because we were talking about Sabrina Carpenter a while ago, and we were like, oh well, I was like, I don't know if she's gonna release a new album because she just released an album. And you were like, oh, well, she might release one, and it might be, like, this fall or something. And I was like, oh, maybe, but that'd be a pretty cool turnaround. And then the next day,
literally 24 hours later,
Sabrina Carpenter announced Man's Best Friend. And I was like, we just manifested a new album.
Thank you, guys. Like, hello, leave a comment saying thank you. We're the ones
say thank you, Aiden and Gianna, for manifesting Man's Best Friend.
We did manifest
because we absolutely did.
Now, if the album is bad, it wasn't us.
Yeah, no, don't.
I don't know who you heard that from.
Yeah, no, actually, everything we just said in the last, 30 seconds is not true at all. But if it's great,
it was
hit us up. But it's just, so that's the difference I feel between, I guess, where things like work ethic, pressure from your record label and stuff like that. And I also feel like Sabrina Carpenter isn't new to the industry, and neither is Cardi B or other artists like that. But they are on different sides of the industry.
I would say for sure, too.
Yeah. And so, because, we've got your pop strut princess, Sabrina Carpenter, and then you've got your strong,
drama queen, I would say.
Oh. Mm-hmm. You've got your strong artist on here in the rap field as well. And also, rap is so hard for women to really break into as well, because it's a very male-dominated side of the industry, as a lot of music kind of tends to be. And so it's kind of stepping into that and saying, hey, I'm taking up space because I can rap too, and I can rap well, is really, really hard, especially for women. Oh, for sure. And so there's also that. So there's a bunch of mitigating factors, but again, there are some people who, will kind of come in on their promise for actually releasing that album in a time frame that makes sense. And so the other thing with Sabrina's album, which was kind of funny, is again, she's known for being kind of a little salacious, especially with her tour. But she's also funny. She has a really great sense of humor.
God forbid a lady has personality.
God forbid a girl has a personality. She finds herself funny, and she's not afraid to showcase that. And she likes to have fun with her work, and all of her music videos have a correlating story. Mm-hmm. And if you follow them, especially with the ones from Short and Sweet's release into now for this album, a lot of them correlate into what I call the Carpenterverse. But the original album cover for this which is what I'm bringing up her humor for. So the album's name is Man's Best Friend, and it's a play on a dog being Man's best friend. And so y'all can fill in the blanks. But basically, the original album cover sparked controversy because it was a little provocative in what it was kind of suggesting. And so, but as of yesterday, Sabrina, she clapped back to fans and haters alike with new cover and an alternative cover that she coined was, quote, approved by God, because basically everyone was saying that her other album cover was an abomination and that she should be ashamed of herself. And she was like, bro, what are you talking about? It's funny.
That, and plus I feel the same thing applies for her tour. I see all these parents taking their kids to the tour, and they're like, this is not appropriate.
It's girl, you knew that.
That, plus Sabrina never said it was for kids.
No.
You just got that mindset.
Exactly. And then honestly, it really frustrates me, especially, again, because it is so hard for women in a lot of industries, but specifically the music industry, to be taken seriously, that when a woman kind of like embraces her sensuality and her femininity, she gets made fun of. But if she's not sensual or feminine, she also gets made fun of. And so it's like you can't win. And so it's like if you have these artists that are wanting to embrace that and make it fun and like funny for their audience and their fans, like you need to let them do that. Have creative freedom. And so like I feel like it's just a way for like fans to kind of, or even like haters honestly, to kind of control what is being released, and it's not fair, because honestly for me, like even sometimes I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot, but also like it's funny, I like it. And so additionally for Manchild, like I said, at first I was a little but then it's really grown on me, because this is not the first time she's lamented about like, you know, someone being like her partner's being stupid. So like Sharpest Tool in the Shed from Short and Sweet well, like that's another one. And so she also really likes, you know, like playing on words and whatnot. And so, but for this one, it is her first #1 debut in the US and the UK, the song. Really? So a lot of people are really liking it. And also this one has a new music video, and it's also really fun. And it kind of like leans into, again, that like folksy feel, and also kind of like in the Carpenter verse at this point, she's like on the run from the cops, which is really funny, and I really love that. But so yeah, I think we should just let a girl live. Like to be honest, we should just let Sabrina live and just enjoy the ride, because she produces so many amazing vocals, and like people give her like crap for it when she uses backing tracks, and honestly, bro, like, could you hit those notes? Because I can't. I try in the car every day. Like, trust. But like Sabrina is like, for me, she's reclaiming her hyper femininity. And like the sensuality vibes of the early 2000s. Like, it's Britney, you know?
Yeah.
Like Icon. And so, but she's also adding in, again, her own, like, pop flair and, like, the 70s charm. And, like, I love this era of, like, pop for her. In her Rolling Stones cover art, the story from the Rolling Stones, awesome job. And so it's a very fun time for female artists in the industry right now. Or at least in the pop era.
Yeah. I feel like it just depends.
It definitely depends, because, you know, like, there's different sides of the music industry, and some people are going to be like succeeding on one end, and then on the other hand, you're going to have people who are like kind of almost flopping. And honestly, there's no like precursor for saying that this next album by Sabrina is going to be amazing. I expect it to.
I think it might be like the best one for sure.
Simply because almost every Sabrina album that I've listened to, I've loved, for the most part. Obviously, there are some songs on the albums that I'm like, oh, I'm not in love with that as much as I would like to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just a natural thing for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of artist. Because, I mean, you can't say that every single song from someone, for the most part, is a banger.
Unless you're, like, a for real die-hard. I mean, like, you're going to jump off a bed die-hard fan, then you're gonna eat up every single song. But if you say like, oh, I like this artist, and you put shuffle, and you're like, oh, this song's not it. Next. But also I just feel like you can know when an artist like likes one song, and then when they don't, because they don't ever stream or talk about it ever.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like that's not the case with Sabrina, other than I think some of her older work. But also, I feel like the other reason that I really like Sabrina is the fact that she's super down to earth in a way that makes her feel more accessible to me as a fan.
She's more relatable. I don't know.
Yeah, she really is. And I feel like, again, that's why Manchild grew on me more, because, like, me too, I've also liked dumb men. Like, of course. Like, it's just, then it's just.
I haven't seen the music video. I need to go see it, actually.
The music video is really funny. And then also, like, she makes fun of herself in the video, like, like, on Instagram. She's like, like, take a drink every time I change outfits in the video. And so it's like she's just super accessible to fans as an artist in a way that I feel like is super down to earth. And also, like, she has like this thing that she does every time that she releases an album. She goes to Target, She sits in a Target cart.
Really?
And she holds up 2 albums and she takes a picture with it. She's done it for every single album she's released.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like stuff that you would do as a fan. And like for me, again, it does come down to the fact that I've kind of grown up with Sabrina in a way similar to how I've grown up with Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
And so it's like I've been around these artists for a while. And so it's like I just
as someone who like hasn't grown up with like Sabrina Carpenter, she's still like just one of those like relatable artists, good artists.
Yeah.
She's not like flexing her money or her worth. She's like, oh, I'm just here, guys. I'm just me making music, which I really love.
Again, she loves
Very
what
humble.
she do. She loves what she does.
Yeah.
And so you can tell. And also, she's a fun actress too. So there's that as well. So you can kind of see like again the multiplicity from her. In a way that's kind of similar to other music artists that are also actors, which isn't a ton of them, but
I feel like any recent artists and like actors, I haven't seen many of those. All the ones I know are really like not old, but like
although there is a surprising one. This is kind of off topic, but do you remember Greg Heffley from The Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
He's an artist?
He's a music artist. He just released a single.
What?
He sings now.
Oof, was the acting career? I don't know.
No, well,
he wants to do both.
I think he wants to do both, but also I feel like he hasn't really had anything since the Diary of a Wimpy Kid novels, or not like the movie adaptations of the novels. But I also wasn't exactly like keeping track of him.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I wasn't really keeping track of him, but I feel like it's us. It's just again, it's that waves of things coming in and out of pop culture. I mean, there's only so many things that like you can keep tabs on. And I mean, there are definitely things that like come into pop culture that you're kind of like, where did this even come from?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like there was those little dolls that are really really popular right now.
What are they called? I know them.
The Labubu dolls. Those things. Those are really really popular right now. And I feel like they came out of nowhere.
Honestly, yeah. They honestly did come out of nowhere. I'm trying to remember, like, when did it all start? Was there, like, a celebrity? No, I just feel like, boom, they're in the industry everywhere now.
Yeah.
Which, I don't get what's all the hype about them.
Yeah, I
they're
mean...
creepy, ugly, terrifying-looking dolls. Who in the right mind would want to buy one? I mean... Look at that prices. That's not any cuter.
Well, yeah, so I feel like I was looking this up earlier because we were kind of talking about them, and I was like, I feel like they were cheaper at one point, and they were, because so I did a little bit of research, and so basically the Labubus were originally created for a storybook by a Hong Kong artist named Ka-Sing Lung. Again, please forgive me for mispronunciations. And so basically he told NPR that after he moved to the Netherlands at 7, he kind of like fell in love with Nordic fairy tales, and like specifically the elves that are in Nordic fairy tales. And so he credits that as like the inspiration for an illustrated book series called The Monsters. And so it was originally published in 2015, which is crazy. 10 years ago? Yeah. And so, but it focuses on an all-female tribe of elves known as the Labubus. And so basically the toys that were created because of the book series came really quickly after the trilogy of that book series was released. Mm-hmm. But the toys didn't really like become like a global thing until 2019 when the artist like kind of like combined it with the toy company Pop Mart.
Oh.
And so that's where you can buy them. Like if you Google Labubu Pop Mart, you're gonna get like this little gremlin on your screen that's going like, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, and then you're also gonna see that they're $53 right now. And so
bizarre, crazy.
Absolutely bizarre. And so, but from what I remember, they used to be a lot cheaper. But additionally, the $53 is that they're on sale. And so
that's sale?
Yeah. Oh, and so they're normally now $95. They are $95. And so they're reselling for $50 to $300 or something like that, which is absolutely ridiculous. But the thing here is that additionally, I feel like part of why they're so interesting, other than, for me anyways, why they're so interesting, other than everyone seems to have one right now,
literally,
is the fact that they're kind of like taking advantage of the blind box craze. Like where it's like you go and you pick a toy and it can be any one of them. It can be any one of an option.
Yeah.
And so like it's kind of the same thing for like not the Bratz dolls. It's like those little like the dolls that came in those like balls and you had to unwrap them.
I know what you're talking about.
And so like you could get any one of those dolls. It'd be a collection or literally any toy released within the last 15 years, honestly, utilizes that format to some degree, unless it's like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
And so it's like part of the fun of it is unboxing something that is new, interesting, and kind of fun, and also trying to find new ones. But for something that was kind of like, quote, reached global like levels in 2019, why is everything popping off right now, 6 years later?
Yeah, what the heck?
Like, I thought that was really crazy. Because I'm like, I don't really understand why all of these things are here. Like, I don't really understand. But I also I think it might stem from the fact that I kind of want one. I kind of want a Labubu.
They look creepy, but I saw like the mystery one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, you do want that one. Only because it will match my backpack.
Yeah, no, and like they have really cute like colors, and then also they have like different like series of them.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of like get those, and then you can also get like the quote regular ones, which is just like a flat color. And honestly, it also kind of reminds me of the like the keychain orangutans from a couple of years ago too. Those used to be super, super popular. They're like almost everybody had like a keychain that was like a little orangutan, and it was super weird, and I didn't know why.
No, I've never had that.
You never had a orangutan keychain? Mm-mm. It was a thing, I promise.
Right.
But also, like, again, like the thing with like coming in and out of the sphere of what's popular, people I've seen. Because sometimes I scroll through Facebook Marketplace. I never buy anything, but sometimes I scroll through it. Yeah. There was this one lady, she was selling Labubu fake nails.
What?
But not like fake nails with Labubus on them. Yeah. Like nails for Labubus.
Oh.
Yeah. And they were $15. Like literal nail sets, like fake nails.
For a doll.
For a doll.
That doesn't talk, do nothing.
No.
That just sits there looking
weird. And then also there's this other thing where it's like you can buy clothes for your Labubu elf. And it's like, they're called Lafufus. So you can like do that as well. So you can like, it's kind of, I guess, similar to like a Build-A-Bear. Like, in that sense of, like, you're getting basically a doll that does nothing, that costs a ton of money. But at least with Build-A-Bear, you get the experience of building your bear, you know?
Or putting, like, a voice note or something.
Yeah, putting a voice note in it, making it personal, like, decorating it with the clothes, and, like, doing all of that stuff. And so that one has more of a way to kind of like ground it into an experience that makes it worth the money. Yeah. The Labubus are also literally just a keychain. Like you just hang it on stuff. And the fact that there are people that have like 6.
The fact that people are waiting in hour-long lines.
Yeah. And so like there's also like, I think Pop Mart's a brick and mortar store too. Like you can go to Pop Marts and they are almost always sold out.
Oh, for sure.
They are almost always sold out of these things.
I'm pretty sure they have like signs outside the doors.
Yeah. And then also in the NPR article that I read, I think that it said that one of the people involved with Pop Mart said that when they first introduced Labubus to like people in their store, it was the first thing that like that sold, like almost sold out in a way that they'd never seen before. And so it's like it's super interesting to like kind of like see what people are interested in and what they're not interested in. Yeah. And then also in addition, there's a bunch of different kinds of Labubus, but people are also like that are in like the kind of like doll like creating scene and like custom scene. Yeah. Or custom making or dyeing like fabric dyeing Labubus.
I've seen a couple of videos like those. I'm on like the rich kid side of TikTok right now.
Rich kid side of TikTok.
And so I've seen these people saying they're going to tattoo their Labubu and they'll take it to an artist. They'll tattoo it.
Tattoo?
They'll like get like the actual like artist and they'll like do a tattoo on the damn doll. And then they'll also dress up the Labubu in like high-end jewelry brands. So like I've seen one with the Van Cleef necklace. I've seen one with like a tennis chain. Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
But other than that, I mean, I guess that's the only thing you can do. I've seen people like so just like a keychain, they'll hook it to like their Birkin and stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
so
that's a flex.
yeah, I re-pulled up the NPR article. So basically, according to this article from NPR, written by Juliana Kim, and we'll have this linked as well, so y'all can come read it too. Support public media. So basically. According to PopMart, the revenue from when they first released this, it broke a sales record in the art toy category.
Oh,
so basically, it's been, and then also it goes on further to say that like it's been spotted on the bags of like a bunch of different pop singers and stuff like that, including Blackpink, the K-pop band. And so it's like these dolls have been here for a while, but they're only recently blowing up.
I wonder what pushed it to be like an mainstream media. What crossed the line? What did it?
I don't know. So like, I feel like because the blind boxes, they can retail for like less than $30. But then, which is what I was thinking of originally, which is still pretty expensive for a keychain or like a doll, but it's not like $100.
Yeah, it's not like $300.
Exactly. So it's just, I don't know. Well, I guess if you wanted to get a Labubu, what color Labubu would you get?
I would really want that black one.
A black one?
But that's like a 1 in a 8 chance of getting it. So
I don't even know.
Well, because it's even rare. Like it's the rarest one. So
the all black one?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like the mystery one. But if anything, I'd want the blue one, I guess.
The blue one is kind of cute, like a little it's kind of like a soft blue, right? Yeah. And so I like the green one, and then also like the little like soft, because a lot of them have like a Sherpa feel. Yeah. It looks like. Yeah. For like the texture of their elf fur. But there's a couple of Labubus who have like kind of like an almost like a longer hair. Oh. And those look kind of cutesy, and I kind of like the green one, and they look a little tie-dye-y.
I've seen. There's like one of the brands has like I guess like one chapter of them are like dyed. Interesting.
I think that's one of the series. Yeah. And so, like, honestly, if y'all see us pull up to the next episode and we got Labubus.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
For $50, I'd rather get a tattoo. I'd rather get a tattoo.
What about the mystery box? It's $27.99.
That's crazy still. What am I supposed to do with it? And maybe like in a month, it's going to be like, the hype is already over. And then what? I just
love the Labubu.
Throw it away?
No, you could resell it on eBay for $250.
Honestly, though, a little buck. I feel like it might come back in like 10 years.
No, it's kind of the same thing with, I think, the Beanie Babies.
Yes, the Beanie Babies.
The Beanie Babies. It's the same thing. We all have, you know that meme where on TikTok where it's like, it's a recession indicator? Yeah. This is our recession indicator. The Labubu craze. Ooh. That's why it's coming out. We're in a recession.
Hey, at least like the Beanie Babies had like all types of animals and stuff.
This is true.
This is only an ugly monster, and there's.
It's not ugly.
The only thing that changes the color.
It's not that ugly.
If I saw that, hey, no. I feel like that's something I could see. This maybe like some third-party movie person. Director is gonna make a movie out of the Labubus. Like a horror movie.
A horror movie?
It looks terrifying. I would assume so. Maybe like a Labubu comes to life. Trademark this. A Labubu comes to life. Like Chucky or something. Just like.
Oh my gosh.
Teams up with the
like
kid.
Gremlin this?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Watch.
Don't feed your Labubu after midnight.
Don't sleep with it. Don't do anything. Throw it away.
Don't throw away the Labubu.
Is it a movie? Oh, it's gonna be like Megan too.
I'm not excited for that. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Don't clown me. I didn't really like the first one. And I didn't really like it because the plot was kind of dumb.
It was so cheesy and dumb.
It was really cheesy.
But Megan Fox?
She wasn't enough to save. I don't know if she'll be enough to save the film. In my personal opinion, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna make a film about a killer robot, if you're gonna play with the cliche, do it in a way that doesn't just rely on the robot being hot. Like, I'm so sorry.
Ooh, T clock that. I guess
like
so,
it's
yeah.
the same thing with the other robot film that Megan Fox was recently in.
Wait,
where,
really?
Yeah, where she like had like a weird sanitized mouth and whatnot.
Oh,
And so like it was because she could like she didn't need to brush her teeth. She was like an android, and like she like tries to kill the mom or whatever to like take over the family or something like that.
I guess the same could apply with Transformers too.
I mean, I guess, but that's at least a unique
unique
angle.
New. Yeah.
And so it's like, but yeah, she was recently in Subservience. That's
Oh,
the film.
is it on Netflix?
I think so.
I
think it's a
watched it,
Netflix
yes.
original. And so basically it's a science fiction thriller, but basically like killer robot.
Yeah, I do remember
but
watching
like
that.
barely, it's just a hot killer robot. Like no offense to Megan Fox.
That's all it takes.
Megan Fox is very attractive.
Very
attractive. But I feel like that's not.
It's not enough for you?
It's not enough for me to be a good film. You need to have more than hot actors to have a good film.
Maybe they might have another hot actor in the second one. Okay, for this movie, one movie of it is enough. A second one, okay, we already know the plot of the first one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the exact same plot in the second one.
Yeah, because like, see, even for Subservience, it like bombed in the box office. Apparently, it looks like because like it did not do very great, and it has a 5.4 out of 10 for IMDb, and less than 60% of like people liked the movie.
I remember watching it. It was a very interesting movie for sure. I low-key got the same vibes as Megan because of it. So
yeah, and so again, it's like you got this killer robot, and like I feel like Megan at least had the kind of like element to it where it was like the robot was protecting the kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just gets to a point where it's like if you're gonna do something in a genre that is, you know, done over and over again, it really needs to be a unique entry that doesn't just feel like you're utilizing a hot actor in order to actually like create revenue and whatnot and interest in it. Like there was another movie that like I feel like did a good job. I'm forgetting it now, but if I remember, I'll say what it is.
Okay, tune in next week.
When I remember in a week. Yeah. No.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited. Me and my sister are for sure going to go watch it.
Megan too?
Yeah. Me and my 12-year-old sister are going to go watch it for sure. For some reason, she's been dying to see it. I mean, I'm going to go see it because it's Megan Fox, of course.
Yeah.
But am I going to enjoy it? Probably not.
I mean...
If it ever comes out like on streaming services, I feel like it's one of those movies you can just play in the background and occasionally tune in and you still know the plot.
Yeah, one movie I am personally excited for, and I guess watch out for my review of it because I'm most likely going to.
Which one?
The Jurassic World Rebirth. The one that's
There's
coming
making
out.
more.
The one that... what do you mean?
Isn't there like 7?
I mean...
Okay, dinosaurs and some people.
No, so that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a
what
a new,
more do we need?
It's a new entry into it, and so basically it really leans into because the Jurassic Park books are brutal, like they're really gory. Oh. And so this leans into that more, like the original source material.
Oh, comes
out
next week.
I'm really excited for it. And so basically, it's kind of like. Well, I mean, we can't go see it.
Okay, I thought she was just ignoring my.
No, I'm not just ignoring you, Trez.
I was like, someone clip that, send it to me.
But like, I feel like it's a good like reintroduction to the world of Jurassic Park. Although I have no clue how they're gonna keep it PG-13, because that's the current rating. Yeah. So honestly, if the rating holds back the plot. That's a whole other thing that I could probably talk for 45 minutes about.
2 hours of dinosaurs?
But it's not just dinosaurs. It's a complicated question about whether or not we should do things just because we can. And also the consequences of doing said things.
Right.
It's kind of meta, but I like it. And also Scarlett Johansson's in it and Jonathan Bailey and his little
Wait, Jonathan Bailey's in it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll see him. We'll pull up. Stay tuned next week.
Yeah, no, he's like I think he's the male lead in it, and he's got his little glasses, and he looks so cute. And also Scarlett Johansson, my love.
Of course.
She's in it as well. She's the female lead. And I'm really, really excited about it. And if it sucks, I'm gonna cry, because I love Jurassic Park. I love the entire world of it. I think it's super, super interesting. So,
I've seen like clips and snippets of it.
yeah, it looks really good. So, if it fails, you'll hear from me. Trust.
Boo, tomato.
All right.
Okay.
Well, speaking of media, I do have some suggestions for you. Summer edition of Gianna's 3 for 3 corner.
Yes.
So as always, I do have a book for you. It's called Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. And it's expected to be published August 26th. And so this is the back of the book description. And so basically, two graduate students must set aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. So Alice Law has only ever had one goal: to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. And so she has sacrificed everything to make that a reality: her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity. All to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world. That is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Whoa. So, Grimes is now in hell, and she's going in after him because his recommendation could hold her very future in his now incorporeal hands, and even death is not going to stop her from the pursuit of her dreams. And so, also, it's, I'm presuming, an enemies to lovers as well, because further it says, nor will the fact that her rival, Peter Murdoch, has come to the same conclusion. Ooh. And so this is probably going to be a really long book, TBH, because I love Kwong, but she also does heavy research. And so basically a lot of her books sometimes can come out feeling more like a research paper rather than a novel, which I don't entirely hate to some degree. As long as it furthers the narrative, like the way that it did in Babel, which is another book by Kwong, I was fine with that because it's basically a book about like a historical thing and whatnot, and so it makes sense for the narrative. But if this one reads more like that, I feel like I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. Oh. So, but Kwong has pretty good prose otherwise, so that should be a good, entry into that. Yeah. So as for the TV show, I have one for you that is Ironheart on Disney Plus. And so it was released June 24th, so 2 days ago, and I think the first few episodes were released on the 24th. So it's not the whole thing, and so that'll release throughout the summer. And so the series shares continuity with the franchise's films, which is, MCU. And so it sees MIT student Riri Williams return home to Chicago following the events of the film Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which was published in 2022. And so this is where she's basically discovering secrets that pit technology against magic. I've seen trailers for it. It looks so good. I'm so excited. And so there's that. And then for the movie, I have The Life of Chuck. It was released June 13th. And so it's inspired by the novella written by Stephen King. But the novel is a far departure from his usual horror and thriller novels. Yeah. So the original book was a part of a collection of novellas by King called If It Bleeds, which is one of the names of the novellas in the book, which was released in 2020. And it follows the story of a man named Charles, Chuck Krantz. And so, but the story is told in reverse chronological order. So rather than kind of books like A Dog's Life, which start at the beginning of a childhood and then at the end of the life, this starts when he dies at 39 from a brain tumor, and then ends in his childhood. Oh, and so the movie is also told in that same format in 3 parts, with Tom Hiddleston starring as one of the versions of Chuck. And obviously, I have to see my husband. I have to see Tom Hiddleston.
Let me see. I know faces, not names.
You know faces. Loki.
We can pass on this.
You don't like Tom Hiddleston? Really?
Him at acting for sure. That's it. We'll leave it there. We don't even need to say the rest.
Okay, we're going to have to start a new corner called Gianna Aiden Beef Corner.
Hey, we could run it back.
Alrighty.
Okay, now to wrap everything all up.
Now I just get to sit back and relax and hear you talk about people being mad at each other. It's my favorite part.
Literally my favorite part, too. So for Aiden's tea time, we're going to run back the Cardi new album because now I'm going to get into the lore and details on why this is so big. Uh-huh. Okay. So for those who don't keep up with the female rap, this is going to be big. And I mean big. big.
Capital B.
Stuff will go down
Capital
in history. So a couple of days ago, Cardi B actually clapped back again and said, "Whoever the bleep they are mad about, tell them to go cry about it." And then proceeded to make crying noises. She was like, "Wah wah wah," and I was like, I wonder who she's talking about. Then she proceeded to say, "These mothers and fathers are not to be mad. My hit record needs a home." But of course, she didn't say mother and father. She said,
"Yeah, we know. It's okay."
Okay. But when she's telling these people to go cry about it, she's really talking about one specific fan base, the Barbs, Nicki Minaj fans.
Your house.
My house, my fellow peers, my colleagues, my friends. Now, personally, I am a Barb to the day I die. Been a fan since Playtime Is Over in 2008. Of course, I didn't listen to that when I was 5, but like I grew up with her music.
2008 being when you were 5 makes me feel old, even though we're born in the same year.
What? Oh. But yes. So yes, I've been listening to her since her mixtape era. She's been on my top artist for a year now, my top yearly rap. Saw her in concert. She's still to my wallpaper till this day.
What?
Yeah, when I took a photo from the concert, I edited in a specific way, so it's still like dark, but it's very visibly her, and it's my wallpaper, and it's been like that ever since.
Like your phone wallpaper?
Yeah.
Like, that's what that is?
It's her from the back, yeah, like screaming and like cheering to the crowd.
You've always been a photographer.
Oh yeah, I've always been a photographer, and I was like on the very very top. I wanted the cheapest seats, of course.
Of course.
And I took the photo. I was like, wait. And the way I edited, did this, it took forever. It took me like an hour to get that wallpaper exactly how it is.
This is new Aiden lore. I've been wondering what that is.
Oh, yeah. It's her. But it's very subtle her. It's not like, hey, this is her look. No, people are going to look at it like, oh, who's that? I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's not for you. It's for me.
It's Nicki Minaj.
Of course you didn't know. What? But yes. Okay, so for those who don't know the drama between these two, this is when it caused major controversies. Nicki and Cardi have been bumping heads for years. For years now, and Cardi's releasing an album is one thing. For her to put old music is another, but for her to mock another person's fan base is where the line needs to be drawn.
Clocked.
She's entering a whole field I don't think she's ready for. Especially for the Barbs, they have been known for having celebrities and other famous influencers exposed in the real world, doxing people, calling them out for saying they don't even like her music, like Nicki's music. Just for like having opinions that don't agree with Barb's, you're gonna be canceled and doxed on the internet.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way like that I was saying earlier, like for Swifties.
Oh,
I'm like, please don't come for me. Like I do like
they
Taylor
will come
Swift.
for you.
Yeah, I'm actually if I don't come back next episode, you know what happened to me. Hashtag Swifties got me. But like it's just it's like it's like the fan base.
Diehard, yeah. Which I kind of like though. I don't know. Very toxic. I kind of like it.
Oh boy.
If I could, I would.
That's a whole other podcast.
If I could, I would totally be like one of the like diehard Barb fans for sure. But yeah, so when these people like bully these other celebrities on the internet, they have to publicly apologize and be like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, Barbs. Please don't come for me. Please don't come for my kids and my wife."
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, please do not come for me. I mean no harm.
And the funny thing is, Nicki sees everything, but she won't say anything. So she lets the fans speak for themselves. So these fans don't even like have to wait for Nicki to say something. They'll just like, oh, you don't like her? Okay, we're gonna go after you just because. Why
That's
not?
So scary.
And so she lets her silence speak for her itself. Like she doesn't even bat an eye, and here she is. Nicki's like, oh, thank you, fans.
Oh.
But she knows what she's doing. She will stay silent, but then she'll post like a random Twitter post saying, "Thank you, Barbs," heart emoji. She won't say. If you're from like an outside perspective, you'd be like, oh, what she's talking about. But if you're a diehard fan, they know like they just tore down someone, and Nicki's just like
she's
praising
got like
them.
a secret service.
She really does.
Like
it's kind of funny. It's so
Mr. President,
funny.
get down, and it's just like a bunch of Twitter threads.
Literally, I was like, T. But yes. So with the new album, she's gonna make a move for sure. And I want to say this all started pretty recently, as of 2023, when Nicki Minaj said she was gonna drop her album, her Pink Friday 2 album, summer of 2023. Okay, I was waiting for that. It didn't happen because Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion got together to make a single called Bongos. Did you hear it?
No, I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's just a single song. It's okay. It's the same. It gives the same vibes as WAP too, because the same two artists.
Oh.
So it's just a single.
Okay.
But that was set to be released September of 2023, a couple months after Nicki Minaj's album. But Nicki Minaj saw that and she was like, let me hold back on my album now. So she waited for Bongos to come out by Megan and Cardi. That came out, and then a couple months later in December, Nicki Minaj dropped her album then. People say, oh, she's fake. She waited for Cardi and Megan to drop their single and stuff. But Nicki's like, oh, I just waited to drop it on my birthday.
Ooh.
So people can speculate like, oh, she knows what she's doing, but she's like, oh no, I just dropped it on my birthday.
Yeah.
Which low key is a smart move. Who's gonna be like?
I mean, yeah. But she also could have definitely just waited.
She could have just waited.
Yeah.
But she was like, no. So, what are your thoughts on? Okay, so like, do you think she waited for a specific reason to drop it, or do you think she was like, oh, let me just drop it just because?
Well, I mean,
especially after.
I'm not a Barb's, so I'm not super familiar with that.
Oh.
So I mean, there's complete possibility that, you know, she waited to do it just like she said because it was her birthday. But honestly, if it was she changed the day after
the song was
announced it, it's probably a lot more likely that she just didn't want it to. She didn't want to release it before. She wanted to release it afterwards so that their numbers would be affected and not hers.
True. So. Well, I like to see it on the opposite end, of course. I'm a diehard fan. So time has passed by. Now we're in 2024. Again, Cardi B teased her album again.
Mm-hmm.
And so they thought we were going to get it that year, 2023, which triggered Nicki again, of course. Well, not of course. It just triggered her. It just rubbed her the wrong way. She was like, okay. And so she announced Pink Friday 2, the deluxe version, to be released in 2024 as well.
Okay.
But she didn't say, like, a specific date. She just said the year and not, like, an exact month or anything.
Yeah.
So because everyone was waiting on Cardi to drop, Nicki was also going to wait, too. So she can just drop as soon as Cardi's album dropped to steal the spotlight.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty fire. But because Cardi didn't drop 2024, so didn't Nicki. But she was supposed to drop last year. And that's when people were like, even the barbs were like, hey, you said she even took to the social media and posted on all of her social accounts. I have screenshots. I'm in so many groups on Instagram, like so many communities. We're sending screenshots.
No, I remember you going, "Oh my gosh, she's dropping! Oh my gosh, she's dropping!"
I was
screenshotting it and then going, "Wait, she's not dropping anymore." She deleted it an hour later.
An hour later, I was refreshing and she deleted it. I feel like because she realized like Cardi wasn't gonna drop, she was like, "Oh, let me not tease the barbs then." So I was like, "Okay." And so now we're up to now.
Yeah.
June 2026 on the Daily Stove podcast. Let it be known here. Once Cardi B drops, something within the Nicki Minaj community is going to happen. I have some thoughts on what's going to happen because of this.
Oh, you have some theories, Nicki Minaj theories?
So September 19th is when the album's going to drop.
Okay.
And now here are my theories of what's going to happen. Either she's going to drop an announcement on the new album beforehand.
September 19th is the one where Cardi.
Yes,
yeah, Cardi's drop.
So either Nicki's going to take to the internet and say, hey guys, I'm dropping an album before Cardi's album just to get the fan base on them and spotlight on her. Which I hope she does, please. Or she's going to drop a new album entirely close within that time frame because she's done that before. Or she's going to wait till after Cardi's album's been out for a while, like a couple of months, and then drop her album to steal the spotlight. So.
Lots of options.
Not
all of them are good. Most of them are bad.
Well, not for Cardi, of course, no.
No.
But again, she's playing with fire. I want to say that Nicki started this. If you're going to call someone's fan base like, why are you crying? Toughen up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I can confirm for myself personally that she is going to go on tour again. Nicki Minaj is going to go on tour again once her album drops. There's an app called Station Head. Do you know what that is?
No.
So Station Head is an app where artists could be like essentially on one big FaceTime call with their fans. But also play music in real time. So if Nicki was like, hey, I'm going to take like a 5-minute break, she could play on like a random song. And it's going to go on everyone's phone who's in that call.
Oh, wow.
Which is really fun. Yeah,
that's cool.
So that's how we hear like more personal tea and stuff before like the media. Because she speaks there. And then that's when like all like the...
So she has a Barb press conference.
Pretty much. And then like we have like reporters. I just know there's reporters in there. Some journalists are in there.
Oh, for sure.
Or like the journalists get information from
You have to take advantage of that. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm in that call. I'm in there too. And it's like very secret because you can really tell who's a diehard Barb. Yeah. Because once you're in the call, there's anywhere from 2,000 to like 10,000 fans.
Whoa.
Which is not that much because she knows millions.
Well, not in comparison to the rest of it, but the fact that there's 2,000 to 10,000 people on a phone call.
Yeah, essentially one big phone call.
Wow.
It's really fun. So, but she announced Okay, so a little backhand. On the call, she does like little games and stuff with her fans. She's like finish the lyrics, or she'll do like a pop quiz on some of the bars on her music.
Yeah, talk about being an accessible artist. Oh my goodness.
Literally. And so these winners will actually win prizes, like free merch, or recently she said, I'll give you free tickets to my tour, which people started screaming in that FaceTime.
Yeah.
Everyone's muted by her. So everyone's typing, oh my God, is this how you're going to announce it? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I remember being so gagged too. I was like laying in bed just listening to her speak. I don't like ever like try. I don't interact with like the conversation. I just
you
like
don't
listening.
Want your free ticket to get another nosebleed?
No, because then you have to like
ever?
open your enable your mic and then talk in front of everybody.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'd rather just stay silent. TBH. I'm a quiet fan.
You're a quiet fan?
Yeah.
As you just talk about.
Well, that's a different story.
On a podcast.
But she did announce saying some people got free tickets to her next tour.
Oh wow, that's
so
cool.
I think this is her way of dropping, hey guys,
like, hey,
another
I'm doing
tour.
it. So then, I mean, if she's gonna do another tour, then
that means another album.
That means another album.
So
which means that the girls are gonna be fighting.
They're gonna be fighting. The end of this year is gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess tune in to fall.
There had to be fall.
Fall Daily's Dose episode where either Aiden's gonna have a really, really good day or a really, really bad one.
I'm gonna have my own episode.
Yeah, you're just gonna be yapping the whole episode.
The whole time. Because I just know.
Over an hour of Nicki Minaj.
Trust I can.
I don't know if I can sit back that long.
You could join every now and then.
I could just pipe up with something I know nothing about. Awesome.
So after September 19th, who knows? She might drop it. If I was Nicki, for sure, because I just know she said on her Pink Friday 2, this was her last album she was ever making.
What?
But I don't know what happened. I guess she decided to make another one. She said she was gonna release a deluxe version no matter what. But there were so many songs for it to be considered a deluxe version. So she was like, I might just create a whole new album entirely.
Oh wow.
Which is better, even better for me. That means more songs for me to listen to.
Yeah, that's kind of like the same thing that Taylor Swift did too. Is like with the Tortured Poets Department. She didn't create a deluxe version. She just had basically two volumes of music for the same album, and each of them had, I think, about 30 songs, if not a little bit more. So she basically released like 60 to, I think, 64 songs at the same time. Yeah. So.
And I know she has the songs too. She's every time she's like on TikTok Live or something, she'll be playing those unreleased songs. Oh. And I already know like the lyrics for one of them, so. Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Die-hard fan for sure.
September 19th, please come fast. The music industry will probably be changed forever.
Yeah. Or in both the good way or a really bad way.
Oh, for sure, bad way. I don't see how it's going to change in a good way. I don't see how it's going to change in a good way. Well, from the audience perspective, it's going to be good for us. It will keep us entertained. Uh-huh. But if I was like an actual Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, oof.
Oh, boy. Well, I guess it's going to get messy.
It's going to get messy for sure. But yes, that is all I had.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I guess that's our episode. We're so excited to finish embarking this summer season with you. For sure. So however brief it will be. Oh,
one more thing.
Yeah.
Squid Game season 3 comes out tomorrow.
Squid Games?
Yeah.
Are you super into that?
Look, I am.
Really?
Yeah. I've watched every single episode and stuff.
Okay, don't tell Eden, but I've never seen a single episode of Squid Games. And that's just between me and you, audience. Aiden definitely can't hear me, and he's not looking directly at the camera, which is super good for podcast, because y'all can see that. If you want to go to our YouTube, you can watch him staring at the camera in disbelief, because I've never seen an episode of Squid Games.
Hey, so you have homework.
No!
You have to binge. Well, you could binge a whole season in one day.
Okay, if I have to watch Squid Games, you have to watch Jurassic Park.
Leave a comment below if that's a good idea.
Think about what you're asking of me.
Leave a comment below if I should go.
Okay, maybe. Guys. Well, we're super excited to be back for the summer, and hopefully we get some more episodes and stuff out for y'all. So, however brief our season will be, we're just here and excited to be here. So until next time,
adios from the dose.